Hey, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to be a land back, it's going to be a land back off of the brother Maya Ka'ala, GMS Behold, I Come Quickly. His video he did called E is No Competition Against the Chariots of God. And he was going into various playlists. As you see, I was watching videos off of him. The brother GMS Truth Be Told, he throws up a lot of chariot sighting videos, man. As you see, bros could go check that out. This I found was this one was a heavy one right here. You see, fiery chariot of the Lord hovers above the skies of India. And as I watched it, I'm like, you see how perfect the Most High is, to where it was like it was a cloudy day, but that the image of that chariot was so pristine, you cannot miss it, And when the Lord comes back, He's coming back, as Ezra said, as he saw the chariot cut. He saw a chariot that was so big it was as a mountain cut out from the ground. It was so huge, and that led me to think, of the most recent, because that was a year ago. All right, but if you look at the one that's most recent, that Boo covered it. I think this was last week.
The results strongly support that these beings are not closely related to any.
Never witnessed an object of this size making its way through space, caught on the cam, and it seems like when they pick this up right around frame 160, they cut it out. You're going to see it makes it right out here, right out to back here, and then they're going to cut it. This is Earth. That is Earth right there, Terra. See? Gone. They clip it. That's what happens. So here it comes into the frame. It actually sneaks in behind this right here. And you're going to see it's like a huge wheel. It is insane. Perfectly circular. And it's like a cross with a circle in the middle.
So, man, when I seen that last week, I'm like, man, the Most High. We see that the Most High is making a power move or a power play. In other words, the Most High is putting Esau in check. All right, the Most High is putting Esau in check, and the things that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is showing us is for our benefit, for our salvation. Because Esau now, he thinks, he got the coronavirus going. He's able to put people in fear, which then is able to, come with his solution. So it seems like everything is going well for him. But Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is showing him that you lost, man. You lost. And this is through the spirit why even Dabu caught it, man. That at that exact moment when you're gonna see that chariot past where space was, Esau cut the live stream, man, because he does, they got the NASA live streams where they have a space watch. So Esau knows, man. All right, going back to the brother Micah Allah's lesson, E is no competition against the chariots of God. He is no competition, man. All right. And when you go into that Shalakia, what was that? I looked up what does it mean when you check someone in chess. Now it says a check is a condition in chess. Shogi, I'm guessing these are Japanese or Chinese games. Genki, and Genji, that occurs when a player's king or general in Genji or Genji is under threat of capture on their opponent's next turn, man. So the Most High is showing Esau, I'm about to come for that ass, man. You know? It's under threat of capture on the opponent's next turn. A king so threatened is said to be in check. If the player cannot move out of check, the game ends in checkmate and the player loses. Okay? And the Most High said, let me just grab that. Psalms 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Okay, because he's not even a novice compared to the Lord, man. You know, Esau is a baby. You know, a little seed compared to the Lord, man. So how can a novice or a little seed, a little baby, play a game of chess against somebody who's known as the Ancient of Days? You know, the Most High, he is time. You know, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Now, wait a second, 1 second. All right, that word derision, all right, means ridicule, to mock, deride, have in derision, to stammer. Basically meaning no matter where Esau turns, guess what? He's in check. All right, because we just read that a king so threatened is said to be in check. If the player cannot move out of check, all right, because when you play in chess, your king cannot, if the king moves, he has to move out of check. He cannot move in harm's way. All right, but if he boxed in, guess what? He has to fold, meaning that he's lost. You know, and Esau know he's lost, man. When he see them chariots, man, that's why the scriptures say we gotta grab that, man, because when he see them chariots, let's grab that. 2nd Ezra 13. and 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. All right, and to prove what this is talking about, let's grab Psalms chapter 69. Maybe 68, so like, I always get that mixed up. Psalms chapter 68, verse 17. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai, in the holy place. That has ascended on high, that has led captivity captive, that has received gifts from men, yet for the rebellious also, that the Lord God might dwell among them. Okay? So when you go back to 2nd Ezra 13 and 3, and beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. All right, Yahweh Shai is going to come back with his posse, man, you know. And when he turned with his posse, or with his with the angels, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. Meaning that Yahweh Shai spoke, all right, he spoke through action, man. Meaning, like when you see in Judgment, damn, what's that movie? I think it was Terminator 2. Can't remember. Maybe it might have been War of the Worlds. You know, when they saw the chariot, and, you know, you didn't hear no voice. The only thing, all right, he spoke was destruction. Meaning when he opened up that chariot, symbolically him opened up his mouth, what? The laser beam came and destroyed the whole building, man. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his mouth, heard his voice. Going to show you how symbolic this was. Because when somebody's speaking, you don't burn. All right? But when the chariots open up, guess what? They bring destruction. As a matter of fact, this is how the Lord is going to plead with these heathens, man. No, 66 and 15. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15. For behold, Yahweh, all right, will come with fire. Now he's going to come. He's going to come in the presence of his son. All right, meaning he's going to send his son down to do his legwork, as he's always done. For with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. Okay? So now when we go back to 2nd Ezra 13, and so 1 second, Aki. You go back to 2nd Ezra 13, and what was that? 13 and 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the men that came out of the sea. Because at this time, World War III had already popped off. All right, and it's synonymous when you go to the book of Isaiah 13. All right, it says Isaiah 13 and 4. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Okay? So, you know, just proving that point. And it also goes to show you that the Apocrypha and the Bible are one. You know, the Apocrypha and the Bible are one. And the original King James version of 1611 actually has the Apocrypha in it. So it says 2nd Ezra 13 and 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Okay, meaning they already knew they lost. All right, they were already in derision. They were already subdued. You know, but the Most High put the spirit on them to keep going, man, to make it a real fight. Well, not even a real fight, to make it how can I say last longer. Okay. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountains, and call unto him another peaceable multitude, and there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast shewed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldst receive my prayer. Shew me now yet the interpretation of this dream. Okay, so Esdras, as I mentioned before, he was showing the chariots destroying Esau, and then afterwards coming to deliver the elect. And at the same time doing it so quickly as to save us from the destruction of the nuclear missiles. As it says in Psalms 91, thou shalt not be afraid of the arrow that flieth by night, nor the destruction at noonday. Okay? Again, Joel 3:3. All right? And as you read the scriptures, you'll understand that it's very repetitive. Also going to show you that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, especially Yahushai, he can't wait till his father sends him back to deliver us, man. And the scriptures speak about what's actually the shortest precept. It says Yahushai wept. He actually wept. Yahushai cries with us, man. He feels our pain, man. He sees what this devil is doing to us. And this is why he's going to come back and save us, man. All right? Those that what is it? Ezekiel 9:4. Those that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. That's why, brothers, through the Spirit, we hoping this COVID-19, this coronavirus continues on to Esau's destruction, because that's what it is. So again, Esau's in check. All right? And his next move is going to be mate. Okay? Because Esau has so much pride, he's going to pursue his new world order, even though he knows it's against the scriptures. All right? But the scriptures say the deceive and the deceiver are his. All right? So Esau is going to continue to do what he do until what? He's in straits. And then that's when the Most High is going to perform. This also proves that this isn't it, man. There's more to come. There's more death and destruction to come. All right? Because all the nations aren't in the Middle East. Soon enough, yes, but all of them are not in the Middle East yet. All right? Joel 3:2. 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Judah represents you so-called blacks. Jerusalem represents you so-called Hispanics, and you are so-called Native American and Seminole Indians. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, because all nations are, what scripture say, what nation have not had a part in our downfall, roughly paraphrasing the book of Maccabees. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense, And if he recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So, oh man, that's why, Lord willing, I continue to watch more chariot videos, man. Because our salvation draweth nigh, man. You know, and marrying it with the times. What this is Luke 21 and 18, 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not an hair of your head perish. And your patience possess ye your souls. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Going to prove that this is actually talking about 70 AD. Because when the Romans besieged us, all right, I believe, Titus and Vespasian, all right, they came down rough, man. They besieged us. They starved some of us off. Those that didn't listen, those that didn't run to the hills, run to the mountains. And it was a very bad time for us. And the time that's coming is actually going to trump that time. So it says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. And this is where, which, before this, our people were scattered, but this is where our people were completely scattered, because before this you had, the so-called Hispanics today, the Native Americans, they were already here in the Americas, but you still have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in the land, but at that great persecution, that's when we scattered all throughout the four corners of the earth completely. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. All right, and you may say, well, why is this relevant? How is this relevant to today? Well, the scriptures say the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through patience and faith of the scriptures might have hope. All right, so it says, but and Yahushua tells us of our plight or destruction that may come upon us, or that has come upon us, or that will, before it cometh. That's why you had the prophets out there. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, just as today, man. Because now that's another mouth you got to feed. All right. That's another person you have to worry about. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon his people. And Esau is bringing wrath upon the people, man. Whether you know it or not, believe it or not. All right. This is why he's, instituting martial law. Forced quarantine is another word for martial law. But of course, Esau's not going to put it that way, because you people will get, it's too obvious, and Esau works as a snake, he got that forked tongue. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right, and as we see through the prophecies, the time of the Gentiles are being fulfilled. How do we know that? Because World War III, all right, which it says in Revelations, I want to say 9. That's the third woe. One woe has happened, the second woe is past, and the third woe coming quickly. All right. Revelation 13 and 16 talks about an RFID chip. All right, that or the mark of the beast, that will prohibit you from buying or selling, save ye that have the mark. We see these things happening. you know. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. All right, you had eclipses, solar eclipses, blood moons that been happening so frequently as to before they may have came every 10 or 100 years. And upon the earth, distress of nations. Okay, all around the world, distress of nations, man. France, Italy, Rome. Do we not see that? Spain, you name it. There's riots, race riots, wars, pestilences, famines, earthquakes. With perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Men's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. So this proves to you who's going to be in them chariots when they come to save us. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So with that, Lord willing, you Akim will edify. Shalom to the elect.